What's good, everybody? Welcome to episode number 5 of Music My Mates Make. I'm coming at you now from the Red House recording studio. I pre-recorded this out in Umawa on the APY lands in our studio there in the PY Media Center, and talking to my mate Dom Cannarella. He's an absolute legend, musical mate of mine from Berklee College of Music, where we played in the reggae dub ensemble together. Since then, his career has just been blooming, from going viral on TikTok with his band Them Fantasies to starring in an Oscar-winning movie called Coda, where he got to meet stars like Will Ferrell and John Cena. We also talk about just music philosophy and life. You're going to enjoy this conversation. Check it out.
You know, we got the Mac DeMarco right next to the Bitches Brew, and the To Pimp a Butterfly next to the Tyler the Creator records and stuff.
The Wall of Inspirato.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Dude.
Yeah, man.
It's cool to see that space because I was definitely tuning in the pandemic and seeing what you guys are up to there, and you utilize that space really well, doing cool like video effects and like making people like disappear, or like it was neat what you managed to pull off there.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. So our style of like video editing has definitely changed as TikTok and Instagram have changed in the past 2 years as well, you know.
True.
But just like seeing trends of like what people do on there and everything, and how to like cut through noise and stuff like that. It's always changing every freaking week, dude. It's really hard.
You're doing a good job of it, because I was literally watching TikTok in the pandemic, and I saw you guys pop up, and it wasn't even due to like a mutual friends thing. It was just like you guys were on the algorithm. I was like, that's my man Dom.
Let's go.
I was so excited
dude.
to see that, man.
Word. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, dude. Thank you.
Do you like have to research like your algorithms and stuff like that? Like do you read like the TikTok creators guide or whatever for the month?
Well, the thing is that there are people that like, you know, publish books about it, and it's all good information, but the issue is that a book that was published in 2021 is going to be so different than, you know, what the app is now. I feel like a lot of it is just like trying to hit things at the right time. And also I'm lucky to be in a community out here in Los Angeles where a lot of my good friends are not just people that I met through TikTok, but also like people that are really good at it, that are exponentially, you know, have like larger accounts and have larger reach and stuff like that. And while I don't really, you know, necessarily, I'm not fazed by things like that, and that's not everything by any means. I'm definitely way more into creating cool shit. But also, I don't know if we can cuss or not, but if...
absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay, word. All right. Yeah, word. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely more into like creating cool shit, and I think videos and promotion of a song should be an extension of that. You know, it's easy to just like not like doing it, but like if you approach it from the same kind of creative lens, you can find ways to out creative other people. But to get like back to your question, I think it's more a matter of like, honestly, I think consistency and just showing up is key. Obviously TikTok like and other apps, they read, you know, when you're logging on, how long you're there for, how often you post, and they definitely reward consistency. But the issue is consistency versus quality is a very tough thing to run into, because you can't always create a freaking banger every day of your damn life, dude. It's a lot of, you know, you need time to be able to rest and also, you know, live life and get fucked up, you know, emotionally, and be able to reflect it and, you know, put it back out. But yeah, man, I don't know.
No, I totally agree with that. And like what you were saying about balancing the quality versus the quantity, I think that's something, you can keep trying to trigger the algorithm, but if you're not making quality content and staying up with those trends like you talked about. Actually, it was funny. I don't know if this shot was fired at me, but I remember the whole sheesh trend.
Oh yeah, the sheesh. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I jumped on it really late, and I did like a rap about sheesh. And then next video of them fantasies that I saw was like, and And if you're still following that sheesh trend, like you're way behind.
Oh,
I was like,
dude,
whoa, was
no
that
way.
a shot? Was that a shot fired at me?
Bro, no way. There's no way. God, I remember that. Oh shit, that was a long time ago. No, it was not fired at you, bro. I had no idea, bro. And honestly, we were just
I did come
we
to
were
that
just trying
trend
to
late.
be pretentious, bro. We were just being stupid assholes trying to be pretentious. So don't worry.
Was that
No, it's
something
timeless.
was that something that you came up with, during the pandemic where you're like, okay, all of the gigs are down, we got to work from what we've got and work out of our bedroom or our studio?
Yeah, I mean, well, it was a weird time, right? And I had just graduated during all of the horrible stuff. It was 2020. I think it was like May. And we graduated, and I sat cap and gown on the couch, bong in my hand, as they called my name. And it was just like, this is a weird thing, that's going on. But sorry, let me turn this off over here. It was like there's not really a choice. I knew anyways that we were going to move out to Los Angeles, my band and I, me, Eric McCoy, and Max Meislish. And I knew we were going to go out there anyways. It was already in the plans. There was no other option. And I also have family out here as well in Los Angeles. My cousin and my aunt live about 10 minutes away from me here. So I moved out here, and we all just were kind of like, look, playing live is our bread and butter. We're like live musicians first and foremost. We live for the stage. So the only way to be able to express and flex that kind of muscle right now at that time was TikTok, and it was something that was new at the time, and we used to put so much effort into our videos. You'd have masks of all these people popping up here, us like disappearing, trying to be like, flex these little flashy muscles and try to be like, hey, look at me, trying to get attention, because it really was just a matter of like, we could care less about growing our number on that platform. It was more so about just wanting people to see our music, and just like, it was never about trying to grow on any sort of app, except maybe like Spotify or other DSPs. It was always just about trying to get attention towards our band. So at that point, we were like, hey, this is the only way we can do this. So we just started putting everything we had into there. Luckily, all of us were on the pandemic unemployment assistance, which was really, really awesome. It was honestly life-changing. And just were able to do it out here. And then eventually, from doing that so much during the pandemic, when everybody started getting their vaccines, it was like we got our second shot, and it was like, oh shit, we can go and hang out with some of the people that we've met here. Now we're out here in Los Angeles. Let's like actually become friends with some of these people. And from then on, we just kind of started playing as each other's live band. Like, there were homies that saw us play, and we were like, yo, like, I'm having a little house show here, even though all the venues haven't opened up yet. Like, do you want to be my band? It was like, yeah, absolutely. So we linked up with a few other people there, and it slowly turned into this weird day job of like us playing for other people as them fantasies, but them fantasies backing up other artists,
So you actually linked up with the musicians who you didn't know except for via the social media.
Yes,
like that they lumped you together in that area.
Yep, exactly. It was cool being able to meet, some people that had some cool like career things happening to them. And then them being like, oh, you guys are incredible live. I've never seen people play like this. Like, I want you guys to be here. Because, like, a lot of them didn't have the experience of playing live. They just kind of blew up during the pandemic on the app. And then we're like, hey, I have these shows lined up. I've never played a live show before. And it's like, well, that's where we come in. And we're like, okay, let's teach you how to perform. These are transitions between songs, You should go up to an audience and move your arms around. There's levels, where you can express yourself. It's a lifelong study, but it's been very gratifying to lead a lot of people into like, hey, this is how you engage with an audience. This is how you compose a set list to have, dynamics in between all of it, just like little things like that is always going to be a study of life. It's fun to like get other people onto that train as well and show them, hey, by the way, live performing is freaking worth living and dying for, isn't it? You know?
That's so interesting because you're using all these words that you would use within a social media context, like transitions, engagement, and all of these things, but you're actually talking about live music, which is kind of the original social media, or, you know, people would go out to gigs and meet each other in real life. So the fact that you
knew...
it's
so much cooler. It's so much cooler than social media, bro. Live performances, absolutely. That's just been around for millennia, bro. Like
so much, and VR and the metaverse isn't going to take over that experience. I saw somebody.
I don't think it is either.
I saw somebody went to like a rap concert in VR, and they were just saying it was so underwhelming. And there was maybe 3 random like bots in the background. It just nothing can beat live music, and I'm glad that it's coming back. We're seeing somewhat of a renaissance of the guitar and of just people rocking out again, which you guys do really well. I'm impressed that you managed to do TikToks with 3 people, because I'm used to just this solo thing. But how'd you get 3 people all on the same page and motivated to do that type of thing that a lot of people kind of groan about?
Ooh, well, you know what? That's a really great question, because I find more than ever TikTok really awards I think people that are solo artists or just solo influencers, and it's very much so when you look at videos, it's very much so focused on like one person, or it's like one person sitting on their couch lip syncing to something, and that's just not really us. You know what I mean? Like, we've done things like that where it's just me, you know, as like a lead singer, you know, we're all on the same page. It's like, hey, if there has to be one person, it should probably be you as the lead singer of the band. But all of us getting on the same page, it's really because I think we all fundamentally understand the importance of what it is in the industry right now. And while we would so much rather be spending all of our time in sessions and just recording and jamming in our live room here or playing shows, I think the way that we look at it right now is trying to utilize that bandwagon of social media and utilize the momentum that we've kind of started building to try to open up doors where we are going to be able to do that a lot more. You know, a big goal for us is just to be able to tour as much as possible, play different shows, and release music, and just constantly just enjoy what we do, you know, and just try to connect with all kinds of people and spread the word of the fantasy, you know.
I love that you used the word bandwagon when describing that. The most appropriate use of that expression that I've heard to date. And I wanted to just talk about like the video clips. I saw like a TikTok recently saying the classic music video is dead. It's all about creating these smaller bits of content around your song, which kind of like after the 3rd or 4th listen of maybe a different video with the same sound behind it, something clicks and people go, oh yeah, I do like that song. Is that been your philosophy, or do you make old school music videos as well?
I like longer form stuff a lot. It just takes a lot of effort, honestly. Like, the way that it is right now, I mean, TikTok kind of has taken over the role of what MTV used to be to the industry, right? The industry really loves to like throw everything and all of its power into like some sort of like subsidized company or private company that like holds everything. And then when Viacom saw that MTV's ratings were higher when, you know, they showed reality TV instead of music videos, they just started being like, okay, we're not going to do as much music. We're moving over here. And the industry is like, wait, what the hell? And then same thing with Napster, right? They were like trying to squish it under the carpet like it was some bug meant to be squashed. And now it's TikTok. You know, it's like we're putting a lot of power, I think, into the community that is around that app right now. And while it is cool, you know, it's here to stay right now, but it eventually will be something else. And I would say, in terms of answering your question, like, I think it's very important. TikTok definitely is kind of functioning as MTV right now. So it's like, you know, I can't name a lot of artists that have broken in the past 3 years that were not through TikTok, to be completely honest. And besides people like Olivia Rodrigo, but even her, you know, she was on the High School Musical thing before, and she fucking rips. She's amazing. I love her new music. But I also think if you want to do long form things, you should just do it because you freaking want to. Like I'm kind of getting into the mindset of like, yo, everybody's going to have something to say because they want to feel right. And they can tell you that this is the way to do things, and they can say, oh, everybody's doing this, why aren't you doing that? That's so easy to say. If you like doing something and you have something to say creatively that you want to freaking do, what's stopping you? Like, do it. There are people that still make, visual assets to an entire record that's like a 30-minute long, visual album, and they do it because they want to. And sometimes it does really well on YouTube. YouTube is still here to stay too. It stood the test of time as a platform, I think. And it's definitely, if you have a cool music video on there, it can still garner a lot of different views and attention, and you have so much more time than a 15-second TikTok clip to be able to express yourself and do weird things and just do what the creative act is supposed to do. You just have fun, express yourself doing weird things, try to one up each other. That's the lifelong pursuit, man.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, look at what Michael Jackson was doing back in the day with Thriller and these giant intros to the songs, which is so unnecessary. But he's Michael Jackson and he wants to do something epic just because he wants to do something epic. And I like what you're saying about if that's your thing, just do your thing. Don't follow the trends. Yeah, keep an eye on the trends. But I was working with a filmmaker guy on the first part of this music project that I've been working on, who was meant to do the TikToks for promoting it. And he's an old school photographer, so he loves wide angles, and he loves, that's the medium that he thinks, cinema, that's what he thinks. Totally. So it was just so crushing for him to go down to this little 16:9 ratio, and you could just tell that it was killing him. Who knows, it might be it might be diagonal in the future. Somebody
it totally could. 16:9 off to the side, bro.
Something
who knows,
like that.
Man? Yeah.
Slant agonal. And I wanted to, speaking of things that are 16:9 ratio, I saw that, were you playing a gig at Snapchat headquarters?
Dude, the closest thing might have been VidCon. I've
VidCon.
played. Yeah,
I
played. So VidCon, I've played there with Them Fantasies and an artist that we play for, Charlie Curtis Beard, a good homie, one of my best friends. And VidCon essentially is a sort of think Comic-Con. It's in Los Angeles, but instead of for all of those franchises, it's for social media outlets. So TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. Sorry, I should say Meta. The world's changing. And anybody else you can think of. There's also a lot of smaller companies there. Yeah, X now. Oh man, actually, I don't think I saw Twitter there. Sorry, X.
They probably laid off all of their staff trying to save money.
I know, but it's awesome, dude. Especially when you go there as a creator, it's holy shit, I get to be treated like a princess for 3 days. There's these little places with little hand massages before we go and play, and you get all this merch and stuff. Yeah, and all these
tough
weird,
day scrolling. You get a little
oh my thumbs. Oh, I got to get a little hand massage and a little cheeseburger with the Snap logo burned onto the bun. But it was cool. I mean, it was fun. We played the first year that we did that in 2022. We opened for SZA, which was really awesome, and that was at the Anaheim Convention Center. And then the second time we played there, we did 2 sets, one on the convention center stage and another on an outdoor festival thing. But it's cool. It's just for a bunch of the creators that all go, and also a bunch of kids that are really into the content that all of them do, and it's just really fun for them. So it was cool to go and be a part of it all. But it's also really cool to go and see, oh, I don't want this. I don't want to be a influencer or social media first kind of person, and I'm discontent with how tied the two of them, between artistry and social media. I'm discontent with how synonymous they've become, at least in the pop community. But it's still nice to go there and see, oh, like this isn't what I want, but I understand that I have to play the game to an extent, but play the game in a way that I want to, and always try to prioritize my artistry, music, and creativity first. So it was cool to get an example of like, oh, this is not what I want to be doing.
I think one of the things that you guys balance well is kind of not following the trends, but doing like acknowledging the trends and then doing like a really hip version of a song that might be popular. Or you guys really, I feel like you keep your authenticity and integrity, and it's something that I find when I'm DJing, because I DJ a lot, and
Nice.
everyone wants to hear 90s 2000s R&B and the pop stuff. So where do I find the remixes? I might like to throw down baile funk, like Brazilian remixes or Latino things, of versions of songs that people know, but they're not selling my soul completely, to just go play something we know. And
Play Bad Bunny.
I think yeah, that's something that you guys do well. You're still a band. You guys still got that authenticity as a band and the creative spirits that unite to create that together.
Thank you so much, man. That means a lot. I mean, at the end of the day, to simplify it, we just like reharming the shit out of things, dude. Like, if something's going on, and there's like a really, really popular sound, we'll just try to like mutilate it as much as possible and make it, I'll put like some weird bass chords over it and reharm it, and Eric will have some weird envelope filter over his stuff, and we'll make it really funky. Or, I'll clip the shit out of the drums and like do something, or like mess with the time signature. It's just like, you have to be able to have fun with it, because I think more than ever, people just want to see a level of authenticity. And if you don't have that authenticity in yourself, I really don't think you have anything. And that's something that I'm personally really trying to be working on. Like historically, it's so easy for me to like see a camera rolling and see the light flashing and be like, oh, hey, like, put on my face and do my thing. But like, it's actually a really hard thing to do, just completely be yourself in front of a camera. Like it's actually pretty tough, for me at least, So that's something I've been working on. The authenticity to me is literally everything, man. I can't stress that enough. It's just, you have to have fun and enjoy what you do.
Yeah, I think that's something that I've really faced. Well, I just finished working at a like pop radio station, commercial radio station, for about 18 months. And I found myself that I had to, because I'm selling ads and I'm reading ads and stuff, like I had to create kind of like a separation in my persona a little bit, with like, hey, I'm Darcy D in the mornings, like getting you to work, and all the soccer moms and tradies and stuff like that. So I had to kind of appeal to that status quo, but it's not me. It's my music taste wasn't being reflected in all of the music that we were playing. It was almost like I couldn't give 100% of myself, because I didn't want me, Darcy, to, when I'm selling ads and stuff, I felt like I had to create this distance, which is why I wanted to make the podcast too, to try and speak in my authentic voice, authentically about things that I'm authentically interested, like having you on the show today.
Yeah, hey, thank you, bro.
And bro, so speaking of reharms, you got a new song out called Nokia?
Yeah, Nokia. Yeah, named after the weird little phones. Yeah,
the old 3310s.
Yeah, the old big brick. I actually have one right here, man. Look at this.
Has it got Snake on it?
It's in the carrying case in the personal Craigslist.
That's an old school one.
Look at this. Boom. Shit is a brick, bro. I can literally throw it and it's gonna be fine. Like, charges for like a long ass time. It's crazy.
I heard that Americans had a right to bear arms.
This is my freaking. I stay strapped, bro. And when I say strapped, I'm talking about my Nokia, bro. Don't fuck with me.
Dude, somebody should make like a taser one.
Yeah.
Dude, vintage taser. I've got to make
that. Would be
make
sick.
that for
90s taser, bro. No, but yeah, dude, Nokia just came out. Sorry, what?
Yeah, tell us about it. What I saw you talking about the reharms in the second verse. How'd you come up with this song?
Totally. So what happened was we were writing. I had this concept about Nokia, how whenever you drop it or if you throw it, you can do whatever you want. It can go through fucking anything, and it doesn't break. And it's cool, and it's fine, and it keeps going no matter what, and it's like really resilient in that way. Yeah, right? Thank you. But so as that kind of happened, we were writing the song with our good friend Maria and our really good friend Smile, an awesome production duo, and so much more than that too. But we reached this point where, about halfway through the lyrics, I just started thinking, oh my goodness, a song started to remind me of my mother, actually, who, a little backstory about me. I was born, and around 7 years old, my parents got a pretty bad divorce. And, I wasn't raised as like a single kid or anything like that. Like I love both my mom and my dad very much, but it was really messy for a while. And, a lot of things changed in our world. It pretty much turned pretty much upside down. And my mom, had my brother and I still learn these traits of like resilience and, compassion, even when she was going through like a horrible divorce and has been alone for like a long time and is like, it's just been going through it for forever, and I was just really inspired by that and being like, you know what, this is like the strongest person in my life, and this song makes me think of her. So when I think of that, I was just like, you know what, she's built like a Nokia. She's not going to break. She can go through anything and still somehow find the means to teach me resilience and compassion and help form me who I am today. And so that was really cool. Like that's kind of what the song is about. But at the end of the day, too, I still got to, play some chords on my little Rickenbacker bass and do some fun little things with Eric, the guitar player. And, it was really fun putting it all together.
Really beautiful metaphor there. And you can see people's like true character when things aren't going well for them, or when shit is hitting the fan. How somebody acts in that type of situation is like a real gauge of who they are as a person. And your mum sounds like an incredible woman. I was just thinking too, when I was in my MP&E course, like one of the first lessons when the teachers was talking about like the humble SM58, it's like you'll find it in every studio, you'll find it in at every live gig, and it doubles as a hammer. You can hammer it.
Yeah, and you can smack the shit out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, he would like drop it on the floor for dramatic effect. But it sounds like your mum is in the league of like the 58s and the Nokias.
That's so funny, dude. Yeah, it's definitely, bro. She's, it's not a 57, bro. It's 58. And it's functioning like one.
Thinking, I'm just thinking of a song title, Built Different. Somebody, I was doing a gig and I had my Moog little fatty, or Moog, you would say, on the stage.
I thought it was Moog. It's Moog.
It's actually Moog. Contrary to popular belief.
What the hell? Why did they spell it that way, bro?
I don't know. To oscillate
it's
people's
Moog?
brain.
You're actually blowing my mind right now. That's crazy.
It's Moog. I know. I've been corrected too many times because I just want to say Moog. But yeah, I was at a gig and that just ate shit off the stand wasn't in properly, and it just hit the floor. Just picked it up like nothing wrong with that, and somebody was like, they don't make them like that anymore, or maybe they do, but I
no, they don't. They don't make them like that anymore. Our consumerism has... Huh?
Yeah, there's only a few things that could be put in the category with the 58 and the Nokia.
Yeah, maybe like old like refrigerators from like the 50s or something that still work, or like old things like that. Because like, I don't know, dude. I think the way that we've shifted to just our society, the way it's like kind of shifted to very much so like consumerism, and like, I mean, we've always had that, but like even more so now, it's stressed more than ever to like replace your appliances every 10 years. Or like even less than that sometimes now. And like back then, even with guitars, like they used to make these things that lasted for 50, 60, 70 years even. And obviously, I mean, they're just built different. It was just a different time.
It's such a metaphor for the world that we live in too, that it's like consumerist based. It's all really quick. Turnaround, the lifespan isn't long. There's planned obsolescence of things
Yeah.
to literally stop working. Apple only just incorporated the USB-C as like a standard format. That should be highly illegal. All of those type of tactics, like you could dig up an old computer and make it work if you wanted to. But I saw a guy on TikTok who was trying to get his old files off a computer. He had an old song from the way in the past. He was like an old producer dude and probably made a bunch of hit records, but he was looking through all of his old stuff. And you know how like audio technology changed from like tape, this quite archaic type of technology, which had a lot of idiosyncrasies to it, had a high noise
Oh yeah.
floor, and it colored the sounds in certain ways. And and then it turned into like DAT tapes, and then like all these weird like mini disc and weird kind of like retro like transitional formats. And he tried to go back to his old computer, old Mac or something, and just retrieve a file because he knew it was there. He wanted to get that song back. And none of it, like he couldn't update the drivers on anything because they've just basically just canned those technologies. He had to go back to his tape master that he'd backed up that was 30 years old, which was still more reliable than the binary data.
Wow. That's crazy. I mean, I don't know that struggle because when I started, really falling in love with music, it was like I would be fucking around on GarageBand, taking. And I used to think that in order to make something louder, you just take the same thing and make multiple tracks and just stack them on top of each other and clip the shit out of it.
Yeah, we didn't know anything about phasing or anything like that. And I do feel sorry for like my dad's generation. Like he knew how all the tape machines worked and that, but then transitioned to this current format. And it's really difficult. And, speaking of planned obsolescence and I guess like the fickle nature of our times and the consumerist times, I think one of your last songs that you put out was something about billionaires or millionaires.
Yeah, billionaires. It was called. It was almost called Billionaires in Space, but it's called Billionaires. Yeah, it's about quite that.
It seems like that's a bit of. It's cool how you've got all of these concepts, quite strong concepts for these songs. Did you perhaps watch that movie about the end of the world?
Which one?
The one where they're like, oh, what was the movie? It was quite controversial. It's like a lot of the scientists are trying to warn everybody that there was a big asteroid coming, and nobody believed it. And then there's like a Jeff Bezos character who was like, I have the rockets, we're gonna go and stop it from getting here. And then they realized that on the asteroid they had valuable resources, so they planned to land stuff. They could have stopped it, but they planned to land some rocket ships or whatever on that and take all of the resources from that. Spoiler, everybody dies in the end.
Great. Lovely.
Man, speaking of movies, you've had somewhat of an acting career as well, in sideline to your music. So tell us, what's good with that? You won an award, didn't you?
Yes, so I've been in a few feature films at this point. My last one was a movie called CODA, which stands for Child of Deaf Adults. And it was super awesome. I sang on the soundtrack and was also a principal character in there. My name was Bass Boy, but not for playing bass, for singing bass. But yeah, it was really cool. When we filmed it, it was like an indie movie, being filmed in Gloucester, Massachusetts. And it ended up turning into this thing where Apple TV picked it up, and it first swept Sundance out of nowhere, and then it won Best Pictures at the Oscars that year too, which was incredible.
My boy
to
won
see.
an Oscar.
Well, technically, I mean the cast did, yeah. So technically, me not personally, but yeah, I'll say it for bragging rights, sure. But yeah,
Man
dude,
got
it
an
was
Oscar.
really, really awesome. So it won 3 awards that night at the infamous 2022 Oscars, the slap,
Woo!
the slap year, with Will Smith.
Oh, that was the
But
slap year.
yeah,
So,
it
but you
was.
weren't there. You weren't
No,
there.
I wasn't there in person.
Dude,
But ironically
if you saw
enough,
the
actually,
slap,
dude, ironically enough, though, it's funny because that same year, for the We Don't Talk About Bruno like thing that they did with Megan Thee Stallion, them fantasies
yeah.
had a TikTok that was actually featured on this like globe behind there with a bunch of people, and we had to sign like a bunch of waivers off for it too. So that was really cool.
So they let you
technically,
know in advance.
we were in there. Yes, yeah. They let us know. They asked permission if they'd be able to broadcast it because it would be on national TV. So that was super sick. But yeah, so that's Coda, and then I also was in a movie before that as well, doing the same thing where I'm singing on the soundtrack and also acting as a principal actor for Daddy's Home 2, which was a movie with like Will Smith. There's no Will Smith, Will Ferrell, and Mark Wahlberg. Not Will Smith, no.
What?
But yeah, Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg, John Cena, like all this crazy star-studded
No
cast
way.
that just for like a
You got to
Christmas
meet
movie
them?
type thing.
Did you meet them?
I did, yeah. So I worked alongside Will Ferrell, and I talked some music theory with John Cena. That was crazy. I was like playing a little fake piano with one of the kid actors. Yeah, and he was like, he looked over and he was like, I think that's a C chord. And I was like, what?
No.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
John
I broke
Cena.
the matrix in that moment.
John Cena speaks Chinese too. Have you seen
does?
his Bing Chiling?
No, I have not, dude.
So in Chinese, Bing Chiling means ice cream. But he was like, he speaks kind of basic Chinese, and he's like, 我爱吃冰淇淋, and he's like sitting in the car because he's like, he was trying to win back the love of the Chinese government for something he said about something. And it turned into a meme because everybody thought it was bin chilling or Bing chilling.
Oh, like been
So-
chilling?
Yeah,
Like I've been chilling kind of thing? Yeah.
Bing chilling. And it turns into this whole Bing chilling meme. That is epic, man. You're just rubbing shoulders with giants out here.
That was really cool. With Will Ferrell, we worked alongside him a little bit more during like on set. And I remember I told him there was like a little fake drum set for like the big last scene that was there, and he was like kind of like playing around during one of the scenes with it, and I was like, what did I say? It was something in regards to that drum battle that he had with Chad Smith like a while ago.
Oh, yeah, because he
Yeah,
looks
do you
just
remember
like
that?
Chad Smith.
Yeah, because they look really similar. They did this like whole like drum battle on like I don't know Jimmy Fallon or something. Like it's like 10 years ago now at
I
this
remember
point. But
that,
I
yeah.
made some obscure reference. I was like, man, you could beat Chad Smith with that. Like that's it, man. And he was like, no, I need a full kit for that one. Like just making jokes like that. But it was
No.
cool, like I was definitely like, it was a really cool 6 days to be on set with them. With all those guys. I didn't really talk to Mark Wahlberg or Mel Gibson that much because they were, busy doing their own thing, their own A-lister, constantly on the phone using the premium bathroom kind of thing.
Right.
But
Some
honestly,
nose
I thought Will
beers.
Ferrell and John Cena were really down to earth. It was like very gratifying to meet people like that and be like, oh, you guys are like I feel like I can go up and say something to you, and you're not gonna like look at me and be like, gazing off to the side.
Why
like,
are
you're
you
actually
talking
gonna
to
look
me?
me in the eye and like
Yeah.
hear what I have to say. And that's like, I feel like at that level is like pretty rare, at least from my conception of what that level of stardom is. I don't know, but
Yeah, I would hope Will Ferrell was like that because in my mind, he's like, seems like a chiller dude. Like he's a genius, but he's the type of person that you could approach. And I think that's a real test of somebody's character, that everything probably wants to. I mean, there's probably some celebrities that they can't literally, they have to be a diva because they just have so many people in their face or whatever all the time. So maybe some personalities lend to that more than others.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've had things where it's been like, oh, this is super, super cool. Like you're really down to earth. And then I've also had moments like, I remember I went to NAMM one year and like Tosin Abasi was there, And I like went up to him and I was like, yo, can I get a picture with you? And he was like, honestly, nah. And like turned around and like walked away. And I was like, what the hell? Like, okay. Like, walked away in his like Matrix ass like looking thing with his capes that he wears, that toasting a box. But I don't know. It was I mean, I'm sure he's a great guy. I was just a fan in that moment. You know, you have to ask yourself, it's like before you go up and talk to somebody of that caliber who's like really, really phenomenal at what they do in their community, or like an A-lister kind of celebrity person like that. It's a matter of like, do I want a picture of me with them, or do I want a picture with them? Like, you know, like, do I want to get a picture like of us doing something together? Because I haven't unlocked that yet, but I know I will in the future. You know, like that kind of mindset versus me being like, oh, like, can I get a picture with you? And it's like actually like clearly a picture of me with them standing on the side, like, you know.
You can see on their face like what that person, what was on their mind, or what is going. You can really see it so clearly. If it's like, yeah, this is my boy, or it's like, this is just some random person who just wanted to fling. And I think that's, you know, that kind of brings me to the next point of like, where you're at quite a high level now. Where do you see yourself?
I appreciate that, but
I mean, I wanted to ask, where do you see yourself in? There's like 3 questions: 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. Are you down for a little?
Yeah, I like that.
All right, 1 week.
Goals. 1 week, I see myself getting some more students that I'm teaching bass lessons to right now out of Los Angeles. That's what I want to be doing, because and also, you know, hopefully getting some more gigs and stuff like that. Just being out here, I see myself writing with my boys and them fantasies. And just gunning at it. You know, that's where I see myself in 1 week. But and then the next one was a month or
1 month,
a year?
Yeah.
1 month from now. Well, 1 month from now, I'm going to be chilling with my girlfriend for sure. She's going to be coming here. She lives in Dominican Republic right now, so we've been doing long distance for a while. So that'll be awesome. And also,
she's a member of the Dominic Republic.
Yeah, there we go.
Sorry.
It was meant to be, bro. I'm in the name. No, I'm kidding. A month from now, I actually know for a fact. It's funny you say this because I actually have a gig a month from now that's like a Halloween party. So hopefully, I'm gonna be dressed up like a Mario brother, playing bass in some weird dark room that I don't know is gonna look like, but you know. But also, I think in a month. Yeah, I think just really enjoying time with my girlfriend, playing the new Mario game that's going to drop.
Oh, dude, I'm fiending for that.
Yeah, Mario
October
Wonder, bro.
20.
Yeah, you got the date,
soon.
man.
Dude, I got the date up here.
That's great. You got a Switch?
Do I have a Switch? I bought... Yeah. Well, I had like every game on the Switch until my ghetto house got broken into and all 20 games stolen, but all of that's... sorry story
I'm
aside,
so sorry, bro.
Dude, it was I mean, somebody would be really happy with I had every game, but it's all good. I'm zen about it. But I'm definitely copping that game, and we've been going through Mario Wii U Deluxe, just getting all the star coins just to tie us through until that next drop, because it looks so good.
Dude, Mario Wonder.
Okay.
I'm actually, you know what? I got to say it, bro. I was legitimately hurt when I saw that Charles Martinet, the voice actor, was leaving the franchise.
No way. Well, of Mario.
Did you hear? Am I the first one to tell you that?
Yeah, you are. You're breaking the news,
dude. Yeah, they're moving him to Mario Ambassador is the title, but Charles Martinet, the GOAT, the best to ever do it, is leaving the franchise, man. And he's not going to voice Mario, Luigi, or Wario or Waluigi.
Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, luckily, you know, so Super Mario Wonder is going to be the first game without him. But, you know, luckily, I think Mario is similar to, like, Mickey Mouse, where, like, you know, he already laid the groundwork. People can do it. Like, people could do a good Mario impression.
Like Rick and Morty, I guess, now.
Yeah, similar. But I
Unfortunately.
feel like Luigi's actually kind of harder to nail, or like Wario and Waluigi, all those guys. Like he just laid the blueprint for so much, and I was just like, it brings up a fun point too. That's like similar with like when an artist that you really love dies, where it's like I've never met you, but I've heard you and felt you so much to a point
And
where
I know you're not there anymore. Your actual spirit is not there.
Yeah. And
Well, your
feeling
spirit is
that,
there,
like,
but your physical form is not there.
yes, exactly. And you know, they're like transcending to some other level of our world and what we know beyond that. But you
But
know, at the
I
end of the
reckon-
day, it's like
I reckon there is a way that you can kind of channel that person's spirit after they're gone, or just in general. Like, I think you can, I don't know, sometimes I've had moments when I've like sat down to write a song and being like, what would like John Lennon do? Or like if I was the Beatles right now, tap into their kind of mojo spirit and go like, if I'm writing a song like that, sometimes that magical flow, you can kind of download a bit of their spirit into your own essence.
Yeah.
I don't know.
that's a great take. Yeah, I absolutely agree. You know, you can sit down, you can close your eyes, and I think try to access the realm or the territory, however you decide to describe it. You know, and I feel like you can kind of tap into that sort of energy that they had, that they also
Yeah, not to bite it, not to copy them. It's just kind of coming from the same place as them.
absolutely.
And I just wanted to, all my guests, all of my mates that I have on my show, I like to talk about how we know each other in the first place, which we haven't touched on yet. I believe the first time might have been with Jesus. We did that video.
Yeah.
Were you playing on that? Oh, no.
Yeah, I think Jesus Molina, I was in a few of his videos when he was still at Berkeley, and we've done some TikToks together now too, but like I think it might have been he was doing this crazy piece called Pacho's Swing. And it was this crazy I mean, anything he does is crazy fusion stuff.
Everything
but like,
he does.
Yeah, literally. But it was this crazy video. It was for like that Berkeley video series that they would do. And I was playing bass on that, and I was actually his roommate at the time too. That's how we met each other originally.
How was that?
That was I was his first friend in the U.S., bro. Like when he got off like the plane and came to Back Bay, he was like, Dominic, right? And it's like, what's up, dude? So that's been cool. Him and I have known each other for a long time now, which has been great. And we kick it in L.A. here and there sometimes too. But
really, so he lives in L.A. If listeners don't know Jesus Molina, go and check him out. Probably the best piano player, maybe technically in the world. I don't know.
I would not argue with that. I think, you know, he got Chick Corea's blessing before he died. Like, know, like he's that level. And if you don't believe me and Darcy, you got to go check it out because we are not bluffing right now. But regardless, back to how we know each other.
Yeah.
So so I think we met when you were filming some videos for that or something like that. Or how was that? Like I was playing with Jesus. What was it? I can't remember. I saw you around a lot.
I think I just got confused because I did a video with Jesus, but that was actually Henry on the bass who was playing in that one. But I think I just remembered you did another vid with him and some other killing musos. But we were in the dub ensemble together. That was the most
Winston
memorable.
Macau, man. Yeah,
dude, shout outs to Winston, the GOAT.
Yeah, shout out my man Winston.
The GOAT Curry.
And he was from Trinidad and Tobago, and he came and he was a bass player. And I don't know about you, I had a great time in that ensemble. Of course, you know, we would lay back and it was great. But bro, like specifically as a bass player, like I got my ass kicked and stretched out, dude, and it was great. Like I loved every minute of it, man. He was really, really tough in a way that I actually really resonate with. In a level that's not like personal, like you suck. It's like you're not doing what needs to be done, you know? And there were moments where I would stay back afterwards and like really dive into actually being able to play legato, because I would play staccato so much in the wrong contexts. And when you're playing the deepest dub on this side of the freaking equator, like, you know, it's you got to be able to really lean back, really be legato. And really just kind of like sit behind in a way that's not quite where the drums are. You have to be even farther back behind the drums, but also still be conscious of everybody else, you know? And I remember, man, so fondly, I remember your bubbles, bro, your organ bubbles that you were doing on there. Ooh, damn.
Man, that is actually what you're saying reminded me of my other like reggae mentor over there and keys professor Matt Jensen, who I'm still in contact with a bit. But
oh, dude, I'm so salty I never took a class with him, man. I wanted to play in the Bob Marley ensemble so bad.
Dude, it was a spiritual thing and life-changing for me. Like the way I integrated learning reggae grooves from the inside, like that now means I've produced reggae artists, reggae hip-hop people. I know how to throw down the rhythms. Like I have an in-depth understanding of that. And one of the, I think when I was jamming we were getting ready for like Charlemont Reggae Festival, playing with Ricky, who was a great bob, like just dreads like flying in the air and just so passionate. And we did this beautiful gig. And but yeah, when we were rehearsing for it, Matt was saying to Henry, who was playing bass at the time, he was like, "You're stuck in the mud, like you're putting your legs through the mud, and there's like a bit of like friction behind you getting from here to getting me here." And like you're saying about just being in that pocket just behind the drums, where it's like that's what gives that dirty, like stuck in the mud feel.
Yeah.
And like to tie it to a weird production concept that I just learned recently, I think it was like Kendrick's producer or somebody like that was just saying everyone else is doing a side chain on the bass to the kick drum, and he's literally just moving the actual sample over a little bit, which is kind of what you're doing to make space in the mix, one, and in the groove to just feel heavy and locked in.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, bro.
Do you
it's
think
the same shit.
Has that influenced your bass playing at all, coming from a dub perspective?
Absolutely, bro. I mean, when I really started falling in love with music, it was pretty much exclusively, you know, when I was like 13, 14 years old. I got so into like 90s like grunge, like bands coming out of Seattle, like Nirvana made me fall in love with music, but I dove deeper into like Soundgarden and Alice in Chains.
You know the Melvins?
Melvins? Oh yeah, dude. I'm hit. Yeah, Buzz Osborne and Dale Crover, they're crazy guys.
Oh yeah.
They're some of the most underrated and best to ever do it, bro. But going to school with you and with so many other incredible musicians that were of a different cloth in that sense, coming from different vocabulary, you know, it completely opened my mind up trying to figure out where are these similarities of these, what other tools can I have in my toolbox to be able to show up with, you know, like I really resonated with some really, really deep gospel bass playing while I was there at Berkeley as well. But you know, because when I grew up in the church, it was not that kind of church where music was like that. It was like a Catholic
Hillsong,
church
like,
where not even Hillsong, dude. It was like an organ player that was like, you know,
At least you had an organ there.
Yeah, what'd you say?
At least you had an organ there.
Yeah, there was an organ. It's true, and it was big and everything, but there wasn't anything hip going on, dude. It was like honestly pretty unseasoned music, bro. It was like not. It was.
I call it white bread. Like
it was very white bread. It was about as white bread as you can get, and in my opinion, the whole point of that with church music too is that you better be giving the Lord the best freaking music that's ever been existing.
How are you gonna feel the spirit?
Yeah,
you gotta feel it.
No, exactly. So when I started really diving into crazy bass players like Anthony Jackson or like Andrew Goucher or like other like absolute bass legends in the gospel field, I just started laying back a lot more, learning how to, you know, slide around like the vibrato where it's not just like a little bit on the same fret. You're just moving your left hand, and, you know, and just really being able to unlock the rest of the grid, or like the musical grid that I knew where it was either on the beat or like a little bit ahead of the beat and like a lot of punk kind of stuff. It was like, no, fuck all of that. feel good, be behind, be late, but be consistent. You know, like this whole mindset shift that just like really just flipped my world upside down. And I owe so much of that to just being able to play with other musicians. And the reggae dub ensemble that we were in was a big catalyst in that. And specifically your bubbles, bro. I'm not even going to lie, dude. Like, it felt so good, dude.
Man, thank you for saying that. And I do agree with what you're saying about gospel music too, and music that has like spirit and soul, like reggae and funk and soul music.
Yeah, for
There's
something, dude. Yeah,
you're reaching from a different place, and like the expression for me, like I can see a jazz cat who's just playing bebop until the cows come home, and that it doesn't speak to me at all in the same way that a gospel musician, even playing something simpler with such feeling, it just it wrenches my soul. It's gut-wrenchingly beautiful.
Absolutely,
and that
bro.
they're the people who speak to me. It's like when music has a bit more of that depth, like that's why I guess, you know, pop music doesn't have that same nourish you in the same way. It's more like bubblegum, which is cool at the time, but are we gonna keep revisiting that song or that recording? And that's one thing that I've even learned from watching the Beatles documentary, for example.
Oh,
Get
I haven't
Back.
seen it yet, man. I don't have Disney Plus.
Dude, I'll give you your account and you go and
Give me the login, bro.
Medical. Go and see your dispensary and sit down for 6 hours. No.
I'll go to the dispensary, bro. That's just fine.
Hell yeah. And then he's what I was seeing from that is like, oh wait, like because you're watching it go down and you're like, wait, this is Let It Be, the take, or this is Get Back, and you're seeing it. It's like you looked behind the curtain where the magic was happening that you weren't supposed to see that. But one thing I learned was like, oh wait, this is just guys in the room that captured a vibe in that moment. And I think in our day we want to quantize everything, fix it all up, make it on the grid, and not have any cringe factor to that.
Yeah.
But it's a form of self-love, of accepting your take that you played then at that time and not wanting to fix it up, not ever being satisfied with what that is. And so I think that's where the soul can come through. And you know, that's the timeless recordings that we go back to. It wasn't on a click. Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, they're all takes with feel, which is gonna kind of come through in a different way to our kind of TikTok like 15-second culture.
Oh yeah, it's a fundamentally different cloth, man. I mean, think about it. I mean, that was also, even though they were a long time ago, there's still so much timeless music from that time and that moment that has absolutely just been able to stand the test of time because of how good it felt, and that vibe that they caught was so immaculate. And that's also like what brings me back to other forms of music where it's like gospel or reggae or other spiritual music like that. And I think the big difference between that and a lot of like pop music that's made in a scene where publishing companies are getting their writers together and they're pitching stuff for an artist, and you throw together some producers in there and see what works, you know. The different, and I'm not trying to knock on that style. It's just like the difference between the two of those things is that one of those types of music is not just capturing that vibe, it is an offering, right? It's an offering to Jah or to God for gospel songs, and it becomes this level of, this is beyond me. I am playing these notes, I am feeling these grooves, I am singing these things, but it is not for me, and not for my ego. It is not for what is in this room. It is for up there, you know. And I think you can actually feel those things. Like I go back to a Bob Marley recording all the time. That's this one song. It's called Jah Live. And I don't know if you know that song, but it's
big tune.
Yeah, of course. And it's slow, it's deep, and it's just like spiritual, bro. I get tears in my eyes to that shit, bro. I really do. It's just like, regardless of any sort of like beliefs or like where anybody is on that spectrum, you know, in the beautiful culture of the world and how they differ between each other, you can just feel it. You can feel that it's like an offering to something, whether you believe in that or not. And it's like, it's just deep, bro. They're just locked in. It's so good.
Yeah, it's like once you get, I don't know who said this, maybe it was Paul Simon, but oh no, Leonard Cohen. When you start talking about money, God leaves the room. So when you're in that collaborative space, yeah, like as soon as, and that's what I've found with my collaborations, like whether it's doing it for something outside of yourself, or once you start watching the clock, or once you start thinking who owns this, and all of those kind of material things of this realm, then yeah, God leaves the room. And that you got to kind of, I don't know, I've been reading Rick Rubin's book recently, The Creative Act.
What's it called? The Creative Act, right? Or
Dude,
something like that?
I've read it twice. Actually, I've got it on Audible, so I just listened to it.
Oh, I gotta get it, bro. When he dropped that, I was like, I need to get that, and I still haven't yet, bro.
Dude, there's so many gems in there talking about this very thing that we're speaking about, it kind of like creating that fertile ground for that to come through. And there's a degree of experimentation in that, but everyone's main objective being just for the thing to bloom in its best possible way without... Because like not going, I want to make a song like, which is what probably your record labels would be going, okay, we want a trap song about this type of trending topic right now in the key of B flat minor, or I don't know what type of specifications they put, and it's kind of contrived. And sometimes you can get good results from that if you've got the right people in the room with the right energy, and yeah, sometimes things do just eventuate from pushing things around, but sometimes getting into that space of like, yeah, burn a candle, or I don't know, turn the lights down. Sometimes I find just having big fluoro lights in the room kills all the spirit in the studio too.
Oh my god, yeah.
Do you have any rituals like that?
Rituals in writing? Let's see. That's a good question. I really try to get out of my house, and like, if we can, specifically with the guys, usually at the end of the year, we'll try to like go outside of Los Angeles and find like either an Airbnb or like some remote location in like the mountains, and we bring all of our backline, all of our drums, all our interfaces and shit, make my studio portable, and we'll just sit and lock ourselves in for like 3-4 days and come up with all of our singles that we'll be putting out the next year. Excuse me. But it depends. I mean, sometimes we don't always have that luxury, so we have to lock into our studio. But ritual-wise, I think it's really important to just, like, be able to get up, maybe sit outside before the session, or, like, the day you have a session, you would sit in bed. The first thing you do when you wake up is you just really count your blessings and try to ease the cortisol that innately flows through everybody living life in our society. Ease that stress. You know, it's inevitable that it accumulates regardless of wherever it's from, but that shit will kill you, bro. It will kill you so quick, you know. So doing our best to, I think, just realize, hey, what we do is an offering, and what we do is our commitment, not our commitment, I'm sorry. What we do is our contribution to this universe, because the creativity in it is there and will always be there. I like what like Pharrell said, where he's like, that's why they call them universities, because when you go into a session and you create something, that's not coming from you. You're tapping into what already exists in the universe. That's why they call them universities, because it already exists. You just go and funnel those things and take that energy, and you subscribe to that stuff that's already there. It's not from us. We are not that, you know. We just tap into that.
Sometimes it can give you an idea and then take it away, and that's why the universe tease.
Aha.
No, but to be real though, I did hear about the science of anxiety and gratitude being like in the same part of the brain or something like that. So you can have social anxiety, but then the same place lights up when you think about what you're grateful for, and it kind of step in place of that. It's almost like a cure.
Oh, So it steps in place. That would make sense because they're polar opposites of each other, which means they can't exist at the same time. So like that would make sense. It's in the same thing. If you're having one of them, it's canceling one out. Like when you're grateful and you're expressing feelings of gratitude.
Yeah, because anxiety is like worrying about something that could happen or something that you don't have or whatever, and then anxiety, and then like gratitude is being like acknowledging everything that you do have and that you're grateful for and that you are already complete.
Or even things that you don't see. Even things, or being grateful for things that might not be right in front of you, but like still being grateful for being in a position where you might be able to do something or something that you believe in, you know?
Facts, bro. And I'm super grateful to have you on my show today.
Hell yeah, man.
Before we wrap it up for the day, can you just give us a little tour of, I don't know how far you can move, but can you turn around and show us that space a little bit? Because
bro.
People might know.
Let me turn on the lights.
Rad, because people might know you from TikTok, from them fantasies, and seeing the space that you work at. It's a little bit like seeing behind the scenes. For me, it's a trip out to see.
Oh, totally, bro.
That's the space that I know.
I gotta hold this.
I wondered in my
mind,
like, how did they go?
I gotta hold this interface and talk in the mic like this, but I'll show you around. Let me turn these lights on.
My man, doing what it takes.
Oh, dude, nothing less. Okay, so check this out. This
nice
is our living room that we have. I mean, like, there's nothing really musical here. That's where we play the Switch. That's where that Mario Wonder is gonna be.
Dude, we have to link up online for that.
Yeah, bro. Hey, give me your gamer code, bro. It's not gamer tag. That's Xbox. It's the friend code. The friend code. But dude, check this out. So, this is our room right here. It's our live room. We got keys hooked up, and I got my main PA that's right over here. You can't really see it. There you go.
A little studio.
And I got my little Mark bass cabinet right over there. And then this is pretty much like the vibes, dude. Like we all kind of right over here. That's Eric's rig with his orange and his Randall head. But yeah, bro, this is it. We got, as you can see, a bunch of different artists on the wall. You can't really see it too well because it's blurry, but To Pimp a Butterfly's up there, next to Bob Marley, next to Fela Kuti, next to Jaco Pastorius, next to The Dead, next to Sublime, next to Queens of the Stone Age, next to Soundgarden, next to Tyler, the Creator.
You're downloading all of the influence into your
yes,
field.
Dude. Exactly. Yeah, and then we got, all the axes over here.
Hell yeah. What are you playing nowadays? What
kitchen.
bass do you play nowadays?
Oh, bass, bro, I got two. The same one that I was playing in the reggae dub ensemble here. Let me show you. My 5-string is an SR 805 by Ibanez, and it's this little thing that's so beautiful. I love it. It's like
I remember
it's
that.
It almost looks like a moon. And I got this stuff up on the headstock. I don't know if you know Pokemon, but I got a little Dragonite up here.
Hell yeah!
And this Vote for Pedro thing from Napoleon Dynamite,
classic
from the movie. And you can't really see it very well anymore. But when I worked in the bass department at Berkeley, Joe Dart from Wolfpack came in for like a day, and he signed it. But like we also hung out for like a whole ass day. I like carried his bass around with him and walked around Berkeley. Like it was cool, bro. I like got to kick it with him for like a pretty long time.
So many people I know would be frothing to hear that.
Dude, it was awesome. But, is it still locked up? Here, I got to show you this. I got a 4003 Rickenbacker bass as well.
Woo!
Here, let me show you. Hold on.
Okay, Paul McCartney. Oh.
This bad boy right here. I could never bring this guy to the reggae ensemble. I'll tell you that much. That
I used to be kind of like not anti Rickenbacker, but I didn't know what was truly good about them. But especially after the Beatles documentary, I'm like, man, good call.
Oh, dude, especially with flat wound. I mean, I like my round wound strings for like how bright and crazy they are. But like especially with like flat wounds on them, they can have like a really nice like I know Kevin Parker from Tame Impala really
Great
likes that
rock
stuff
tone.
too.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm usually a fan of just the straight up P bass, like just for
Yeah,
recordings.
yeah. I feel you, man. It's tough to beat when it's done really well. It's a sound for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a
kinda
very
like
nice
the
like
classic
vintage sound.
stereotypical like solid studio bass.
Oh, dude, you can't go wrong. It's just I think there are moments where I want personally some things with like a little bit more character. I think than
Yeah.
that sometimes. But that
You
being
would be
said,
at
that's
the
like a
level
super
as a
versatile
bass
choice.
player where you know what you like now. I'm just at the level like get the job done. That's enough. I've heard how shitty basses sound, but you're like into that nuance. Like I want a bit more bite. I want more character.
Yeah,
out of it.
of course. I mean, that's me thinking like a bass player too. I mean, if you're like a producer, I feel like everybody
Yeah.
either, at least when I work with people in sessions, they either want like a like just classic kind of P bassy sound. If I have
Yeah.
the 5-string, sometimes they're like, "Whoa, that's sick," you know. But of course, most of the time, people want the Rickenbacker because you know the contact plugin that is on every freaking hit song nowadays. Somebody came up to me
It's
after
wet
a show.
everybody's whistle.
Yeah, well, somebody came up to me after a show and I played the Rickenbacker, and they were like, "Oh my god, that's crazy! Like, you sounded really good. My favorite bass tone of all time is the Contact plugin. The Rickenbacker plugin is just the best." And I was like, "Bro, like, I have the real thing right here. Like,
Dude, you sound just like a plug-in.
yeah, that's the bass from the Contact plugin, the Rickenbacker."
Dude,
Yeah.
I had to do a project for school in the MP&E course where we had to remake a whole like pop song from scratch and then record it. And so I did Can't Feel My Face. And I think I might have used the Rickenbacker bass for that too. But getting the ghost notes in there that make that bass line pop, it took some
It's
finesse.
tough. It's
Yeah.
nuanced, bro. It's all finesse.
Yeah.
Usually, I tell people it's like, and my students too that I teach bass with, it's like, and other scholars of the bass are probably going to get really pissed off at me saying this, but I'm usually like, hey, by the way, like, if you're a little bit behind or like you're a little late showing up, like, it's okay. Like, it's better than like showing like it's better than freaking being in front of the beat, you know, on bass for sure, because like
Yeah.
that shit's gonna stick out like a sore thumb. But man, like if you lay back on your bass and you're a little bit behind, it's gonna feel good. You just have to be, you know, careful about it. Like just be not even careful, just be conscious about it, you know.
Yeah, well, we might wrap it up there. But speaking of bass lessons, do you do online stuff if you're looking for more students internationally?
Absolutely, bro. Thank you, man. Yeah, so I teach out of this place right here, and I'm in Van Nuys, California, Los Angeles. But I also teach on Zoom, and I'm definitely open for more students, and I would love to teach whoever is listening. I teach all styles and skill levels as well, whether you're just like picking it up for the first time or you're diving into really advanced kind of theory concepts and executions and techniques. I'm here for it. I just love teaching people because like just really seeing somebody do and learn something that they like and seeing their eyes light up is like a really gratifying thing.
So how would people find you if they wanted to reach out for this type of thing?
Totally. So if for bass lessons, they can reach out to me on Instagram. My username is @DomPlaysTheSauce, which is pretty easy to
Iconic.
remember, which is fun.
Yeah.
But my band is called Them Fantasies. Them like the pronoun, fantasies like that shit you dream about. That's them_fantasies everywhere as well. Mainly on TikTok, but Instagram too.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of more music coming out.
And I'll put that in the show notes on Spotify. Put all of your pages on there and your new song Nokia, or Nokia,
Yes.
as we would say in Australia.
In Australia, down under, it's Nokia, not Nokia.
Yeah, we would say Nokia. And Adidas. You say
Adidas. Really?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
We don't say
Adidas, not
Adidas. Yeah,
I mean,
Adidas, baby.
everybody knows the NAR memes now because like that shit blew up. But like,
Oh yeah.
you know, like saying NAR instead of no.
Oh yeah, that's so funny. No, no.
Oh, nar. Yeah, and then you have all these people
Oh,
doing it,
nar.
and it's like, yeah.
It's pretty accurate, to be honest.
It is, but like, I think a lot of people clown on it a little too much.
That's
I
because
think
we're
it's
all
great.
paid actors.
Yeah, hey man, we are what we subscribe to, bro.
Man, absolute pleasure to hang out with you again.
Yeah, thank you, Darcy. Man, I've been trying to catch up with you for a long time, so this has been such a treat. I hope are you still doing stuff with Purple Patch too?
We're on a bit of a hiatus at the moment.
Got
we did
you.
get our sunglasses made up, and then the band kind
Woo!
of finished.
Let's go.
Just working on some new projects at the moment, and yeah, trying to get more hip hop going, and yeah, I'm just getting inspired from people like yourselves, and would love to stay in contact, man. Don't be a stranger.
Yes, dude.
Stay in
Always.
touch.
Yes, man. I'll hit you up if I'm ever in Australia, and if you come out to Los Angeles at any time, you have a
Dude.
couch and a bass to play, bro. You
Hell
got it.
yeah, man. Well, I just got my passport renewed, so maybe I'm
Woo.
gonna come through.
You better, bro. It'll be fun. We'll get some gigs.
Let's go, baby. All right, keep smashing it, my man. Stay in contact, and thanks for your time today.
All right. Thanks, Darcy. Take it easy, man.
Peace, bro.